Krishna, welcome all.
Hare Krishna.
Devotees, Hare Krishna. I thought I was opened up the wrong meeting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Varana. We have
Hare.
four of us together at the moment. Hopefully more will be clicking and joining in.
Yes, they will be clicking.
Okay. So we're continuing. This is session number 4 on the holy name, the roadmap to love of God. So thank you for joining us again. If any of you, if Mother Rajkishore is asking about looking at the recordings, so I sent the link to the recordings to Mother Chandravani, where she forwarded to you, so you've got it there, you can look.
I forwarded it.
Okay, if you have the time and inclination, that's there. Mother
Yeah,
Rajkishore.
I put the link forward.
You. All right, Hare Krishna. So,
Hare
Namo
Krishna.
Vishnu Vadhaya Krishna Vasthaya
Yes.
Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivasisha Shunyavadi Ashtadhara Satharine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna.
Hare 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 Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, hopefully you can see a slide which has Arjuna being trained by Dronacharya with his eyes fixed on the goal. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Arjuna is very attentive. That's a wonderful story. Okay. So we've done this chapter. We covered this, but I thought I was reflecting a bit and I was looking again at these slides this evening. So I thought it'd be good to do like a flash review. You know, sometimes we'll do it quite quickly before we actually go into the next section. All right. So is it hopefully that's okay with everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Hopefully, again, as I mentioned the last time, speaking about being attentive, hopefully you've been having a go at that in your japa, as you probably do every day. But hopefully, just by hearing this discussion, it creates a bit of a greed to actually be attentive, a bit more greed to be attentive. All right. So just carrying on then from the first presentations, which were specifically on attentive and inattentiveness. This leads into the next section. So it begins again just by summarizing that we have to cultivate attentiveness. It doesn't come easily. So we have to practice it. And so this is what I'm going to be describing. And an example we gave, an attentive of the attentiveness of a pure, unadulterated devotee like Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. And Prabhupada mentions that this is actually it's a siddhi. Yeah, it's a siddhi that we need to obtain, the siddhi of complete absorption in the holy name. So there's a process, there's a step-by-step process how to actually be able to do that. And we shared this as well. This is the Pachetas. And Lord Shiva gave them a mantra, and he said here's this mantra, you should chant this mantra with great attention. If you chant with great attention, you will achieve perfection very quickly. So that means if you chant with inattention, you will obtain perfection very slowly. All right, so we want it. We want it quick because our life is ebbing out, isn't it? Our life is ebbing away. I was just reflecting the other day. I'm coming up to 60. Some of you are older, so I've done half my life's done, man. And my days are numbered, so I don't want to hang around. Yeah. So quick, speed things up. So attentiveness is one way. Okay. So you said something, Mother Chandravali?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So being absorbed in Krishna, that's the whole purpose of our spiritual practice. This is what all the rules and regulations. The essence of it always to remember Krishna, to be absorbed in Krishna. That's the essence of it. Here comes Mother Radhesham, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Radhesham, welcome. We're just doing a quick overview of last week's presentation. Yeah, again, Prahlad Maharaj, his mind became absorbed in transcendence. Now that's the word we're going to be using a bit. The word for this is samadhi. Yeah, this is what we're looking for in our japa. We want to be absorbed completely. So Prahlad Maharaj was absorbed in the trance of bhakti, samadhi. Okay, and now this absorption, attention, it's dependent upon the purity of heart. So the more we engage in the activities of bhakti, the more our heart gets purified, and the more we can be absorbed in the Lord. And the more we can be absorbed in the Lord, longer and deeper, then that also acts to purify the heart. So, again, just reviewing it. Please, any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Yeah. Again, do we want deeper and long connection with Krishna? Yeah. In our japas, sometimes, isn't it, we can feel the profound difference when we are absorbed in the holy name. It can, sometimes you can chant 15 rounds or you chant one good round, and that one good round just makes a big difference. But we want to come to the position of being able to chant 16 good attentive rounds. That's what we want, the stage we want to come to be absorbed in Krishna for at least 2 hours. Yeah, absorb the mind. And then we expand on it as well, that attentiveness, it's not just in japa, but in all our activities of bhakti. It helps to be attentive no matter what we're doing. Harinam, we don't want to be looking in the shops and checking out the prices. We want to be absorbed in Krishna, book distribution, and all our services as well, So now then we spoke about, okay, so what's so how do we become absorbed? What's the sadhana? So here's the sadhana here that we gave. It's in Bhagavad Gita. Yato yaschalati manaschachalam astiram. Yeah, the mind is astiram, but yato nischalati. The sadhana is by constant effort. We have to keep on trying, keep on bringing that mind under control. That's the sadhana that Krishna gives. There's not going to be any magic spells, any magic, mantras or the magic mantra is the Maha Mantra. It's going to be a bit of hard work, and that's we as sadhakas, that's what it means to be a sadhaka. We should very sincerely, with all the ability that we have, bring the mind from wherever it wanders under control of the self so it can hear the holy name. Okay. So again, this is we're just going over what we did last week, so that's why I'm kind of doing a bit fast-paced, okay? And yeah, actually we can, how advanced is one? Are they more advanced if they can lead a good kirtan? Are they more advanced if they can cook a nice Raj Bhoga? Are they more advanced if they can, if they can manage a temple? No. Advancement can be evaluated by the proficiency and purity of our chanting. Yeah, that's how to evaluate our level of Krishna consciousness. Yeah. And then what we're going to describe is very much what you will hear described in the process of Astanga Yoga. So in the eighth verse of the Nectar of Instruction, Yanama Charidadis Kirtanano. that verse there in the purple. Prabhupada quotes Srila Bhaktisidanta Sarasavati Thakur in describing the different levels of absorption in meditation of the holy name. The same words are used in Astanga Yoga. Yeah, so these first 4 stages, yeah, Show's coming back in these first 4 stages here, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Prayam, Pranayam, they prepare us for these different levels of absorption in our object of meditation. Yeah? And we describe what, and we won't go into all the details now, otherwise the whole session will be a review of last week. But these are basically just different depths of absorption in the object of meditation, which for us is the holy name. Now, for us to achieve love, to achieve, bhava, love, we have to come to this stage, samadhi. Yeah. So our level of chanting should go deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. So here they are, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So a basic ability to draw for some time, then the mind goes again, there's pratyahara, more concentration for a little more time, lengthy meditation, where you actually, like a swan diving in the water and getting the lotus stems. You're actually, you're observing and you're meditating your object of meditation, then ultimately samadhi. Okay. And correlating, or a stage that's not mentioned here, is going back to Godhead. Yeah, that stage is for the Vaishnavas. And so then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, or actually, Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his pictures here. Okay, he describes these stages of absorption, Shravan Das. So we finished Shravan Das this is the first one. Yeah, Shravan Das is what we're going to describe, what we described last week in last slides, okay? Stage of hearing. And then this week, we're going to have a little look at Varana Das, the next stage. Then there's a stage of Smaran Das, like that. Okay, everyone's with us so far?
Yeah, I got a question.
Please, yeah.
You know, when you were saying you can evaluate yourself about your advancement by your chanting?
Yeah.
Okay, so by chanting it, trying to chant as good as you can, really putting a lot of effort. But then with that chanting, then it can help you to control your mind. Like at times you want to, thoughts come in, say, oh, I'll say this. And then straight away the intelligence kicks in and says, no, don't say anything. You just carry on doing Krishna. Okay, the next minute, I'll, like that. I'll eat this. No, you shouldn't eat it. Oh, everything like that.
This is this stage. This is the first stage, where sometimes you're paying attention, but the next minute you like a leaf is blown by the wind. Now that's pratyahara. At least you're trying to be attentive. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to think of evaluating your progress by being able to control things that you won't be able to control before. You like in a steady state, Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think if I understand, you're just reflecting back that, this is to be more absorbed. Yeah, that's a good indication of our practice.
Chanting will help with everything else,
So chanting will help in general.
In general, with
chanting is like
actions, your other actions.
Yeah. Anyone experienced that where you chant good rounds and you just know your day is going to be great because you're involved in Krishna. You know it's going to be. Sometimes, sometimes I get asked to give class and sometimes I'm trying to prepare and I can't think of anything structured, so then I just chant. I can't think of how to prepare for this class. let me just chant. If I get absorbed in Krishna, then the class it tends to come out, I think, a little bit okay, at least from my perspective. But yeah, there's something else.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what happens if you miss an opportunity to chant in the morning by getting distracted or something, then I noticed that my day is not so smooth. I don't particularly notice it when I chant well, but I notice it if I don't chant, or if I put off my chanting till a bit later, or I don't prioritize it enough,
Yeah.
then I notice that the little problems come into the day that wouldn't necessarily be there if I had chanted.
Yeah, I think that's something we can all relate to as well. So the other perspective
Agree.
we can notice, and especially book distributors know this. I spent 6 years on book distribution, and definitely those rounds in the morning can make a great difference to your actual day distributing books. So the same, whatever we're doing throughout the day, yeah, that's the magic of meditating upon Krishna. So just imagine if every japa we're fully concentrated for 16 rounds every day. You could just imagine. So these different stages. So there's the two stages. This is now we're describing the stage of Shravana, or we describe the stage of Shravandas. And there's the methodical we described, which is basically it means, we gave a definition of methodical. It means it's very purposeful. It's very structured. You're very clear. You're studying for a specific purpose to really understand what is the science of bhakti, or what is the science of the holy name. It's not whimsical. It's not you have a specific goal. And in that regard, Prabhupada introduced, we have here Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, which they teach here in Mayapur, and is available in many places throughout the world. So, and then you have the random hearing, which means, okay, you read, but you just, you're not really, you just read because you have to read, and everyone has to read an hour, and they keep telling us you should read. Okay, I better read. So you pick up a book, and you're not really studying it. You're not really trying to find your path or the path for you. It's kind of a bit haphazard. The word random means unplanned. There's not a systematic purpose. It's just you're doing it because you have to read Prabhupada's books. Everyone keeps saying, but it's not really the stage of Shravandas. The stage of Shravandas, where at some point in your spiritual life, you really want to understand our Siddhanta and our philosophy. And so you attend classes, you attend seminars, your ears are open. Like everyone's here, we're here to try and understand the science of bhakti. So it's not just random, otherwise you wouldn't be here listening here, You want to find out, you want to go deeper. So that's random, yeah? So random hearing, it gives a distant perspective of the goal, the actual goal, very vague. Let me go back to Godhead, but there's a lot more details. There's a lot more details to be mined out of that, really awaken serious devotion. It's not structured. And because if one's not making progress, then it does place the sadhaka at risk. And as for the non-reader, for someone who doesn't read or doesn't make any effort, then what is said here about that? Then nothing can be said, because nothing's going to happen. All right, if one is not Nasta Preshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, if one is not spending time hearing, then one is not going to make progress. You're not going to fall in love with Krishna if you don't hear about him or the process for obtaining him. Yeah. Okay, so that was last week. Okay, any questions on that? I pull out this week's one. I'm pulling it out. What's happened here? Have I got the right place? Yes, here we are. Okay. Okay, everyone, is that okay? That quick review?
Yeah.
Hopefully it
Yeah.
reminded you something. I found it interesting to go over it again, you know?
Mhm.
Okay, so, okay, I can perhaps slow down a bit here. I'm not trying to thunder through the slides. All right, so this is the first stage we just described is Shravandas, the stage of hearing. So this is Varana, the stage of acceptance. Now, to begin with, we're going to speak a little bit esoterical, but then we're going to bring it to a clear understanding. We're going to bring it to a clear, comprehensive understanding of how this actually relates to our practice. All right. So, because Varandas, it's the foundation of one's chanting at this stage, smarandas, yeah, the stage of remembrance. Now, the foundation of that, where it begins, is the stage of harandas. Now, if one is engaged in methodical, attentive chanting in their spiritual life, at some point, they're going to come to this stage of haranadas. This is known as the stage of acceptance. Yeah. This is the conclusion of Varanadas. So it's a very significant point in a devotee's devotional career. It means they understand very clearly and deeply that I'm the servant of Krishna. It sounds quite simple, but they actually have realizations to some degree that one is a servant of Krishna. But not only that, they become keen, for example, to serve like the servants serve Krishna in the spiritual world. So they accept a mood and they chant and develop their smaran in a particular mood. So they embrace what's called a relative specific identity. Now, hold on, let's get a bit esoterical. A relative specific identity. So one may be infused about the mood of the cowherd boys. Yeah. So one will have that will maybe an aspect of their sadhana, of their practice, which is outlined in verse 8 of Nectar of Instruction. Tat anuragi janogami. I got this the verse here. And we won't just going to skate around this a little bit. Yeah. So one should follow this tat anuragi jananugami means then this devotee follows in the footsteps of such devotees of Krishna. Now, this is not like like a young boy who wants to be a football star. It comes from quite a deep absorption in Krishna consciousness. You know, remember when I was young, then my dream was to be a famous football star. And I said,
What happened?
yeah, what happened? I don't know. And then I joined the Hare Krishnas. But it's a result of studying deeply, hearing for a long time, coming to a certain conclusion and being attracted in a certain way. Now, okay. So this known as Varanadas. Yeah. Now it's still at the stage of bondage. It's not a stage of liberation. Okay. It's a stage. It's a sadhana. Now, because one is still in a state of bondage, one is a conditioned soul. So one may, on the subtly, make some miscalculations about their specific direction in spiritual life. Yeah, that will be cleared up at the stage of bhava. Okay, so that's going to be esoterical. Let's bring it to here. Now, any questions on that? Dare I ask for a question on that? All right, just hold on to your seats if it feels a little bit esoterical. That's Varana das, one aspect of Varana das. Now, there's a specific Varana, that means a specific identity, Varana das, that has very deep significance for us and for Lord Caitanya and his followers, and that's this one here. I'm not a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. I'm not a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, or Sannyasi. What am I? I'm the eternal servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. Okay? So, Manjari, you could say, the servant of the servant of the servant. But basically, we're the servants of the servants of Krishna. So that's very important for us. And we'll see how this will give us a clear realization and path into actually becoming or actually making advancement. Yeah. All right, now then. Now I had these slides put on skip. I was going to skip these next two slides, but just before we opened up today, I was looking at them and I thought, no, it's important for us to go over it. And we've been over it before in other sessions we've had, but it really highlights the glory of the Sankirtan movement, in giving all perfection. So we're going to look at this. It's no harm going over it again if you're familiar with it. Now, you heard of the word Siddha Pranali?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, you're familiar with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is spoken of actually. You will find it if you read the Harinam Chintamani. At the end, the last chapter or the last two chapters, it can be a little bit confusing for us if we don't understand what is being explained there. Because what is being explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, from Haridas Thakur, is this. It's Siddha Pranali. Yeah. So these, in other words, this describes, so in Harinam Chintamani, he's describing how a Raganuga sadhaka, a practitioner, he comes to know of his 11 Ekadasa bhavas. Okay? All right? So these 11, this is the identity of a resident of Vrindavan. So this is one's relationship with Radha and Krishna, one's age, one's name, one's form, in the age you are, the name, the form you have, the group you're in, the clothes you wear, the service, your residence, your particular group leader, your highest aspiration for mercy, and your underlying nature. So from the perspective of Siddha Pranali, these are 11 characteristics of a gopi or gopa. Now, when a practitioner is being purified and there's an attraction there to follow, his spiritual master will consider whether he's qualified or not. Now, if the disciple is eligible, the fully realized guru will empower his disciple with these Ekadasha bhavas. He will give him to meditate upon. All right, hold on to your seat. Yeah, so in that context, Varana means to accept these Ekadasa bhavas. Yeah, from the Babaji perspective of those who follow the line of Siddha Pranali. Yeah. Now, you will find it. There's also one book called the Sri Gaura Govinda Charanan Shmaran Padati by one Dayananda Chandra Goswami, where he describes this in some detail. Now then, but this path, for these reasons we're going to bring up, is not being given to us, is not practiced today by Gaudiya Vaishnavas as a whole. Yeah. Everyone remember discussion from before? Discussion. Something, it's good to be reminded.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing, it's not unauthentic. So when you hear someone start speaking about Siddha Pranali is bogus, it's not bogus. It's actually, who is it? Keshwara Pandit, you know, the devotee who would dance for 40 hours. He was given this by Srup Damodar Goswami, Siddha Pranali, and he would teach it to his disciples. It's part of our Gaudiya lineage, as in the past. Now, so it's authentic, but Prabhupada or Bhaktisiddhanta, moving into the 18th, 19th, 20th century, which century are we now? 21, isn't it? Still, yeah. They consider it unsuited for Lord Chaitanya's mission, for the worldwide mission. It wasn't suited, you know. So they favored an equally authentic approach that was also being given and mentioned by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who also explained Siddha Pranali, but he also gave us an equally authentic approach to achieving all perfection. Yeah. So that was, as we know, I think that was to encourage devotees to engage in bhajan, chanting the holy name, and in service to the holy name, yeah, as a means for perfection. Yeah. So now this ekadasa bhava, these assigning these attributes for one's raganuga sadhana practice, that requires a spiritual master knows their eternal form, to actually give it, to actually, you have to have it. And a disciple should be suitably advanced in spontaneous devotion. Now, in a worldwide mission, where there's hundreds of thousands of devotees, yeah, not all spiritual masters are going to be on this level of realization. They're not going to be siddhas. Yeah. Prabhupada said we require millions of gurus. So, but they're not all going to be siddhas. Even uttams, they're more they are rare, and the more exception, they're exception to the general rule. But Prabhupada said we need millions of gurus. So that means that Madhyam Adhikaris, even Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar of Instruction that even Kanishta, but one should understand one cannot make much progress under the guidance of a Kanishta. Okay. Okay, so now, so one may be Madhyam Adhikari, yeah. Now, for them to give these 11 bhavas will be unproductive imitation. So generally, disciples lack qualification to receive such a sudden. And can you imagine the scene? Can you imagine if if your friends get Ekadasha Bhav, your guru, they go to visit the guru, and the guru, pulls one of the disciples aside and he gives them Ekadasha Bhav, he whispers them attributes, and he gives them that as a sadhana. And then he doesn't give it to other disciples. It's going to create, problems. There'll be envy, there'll be competition, there'll be cheating. Imagine that, you've been around for 15 years, someone's been around for 5, and the guru gives Ekadasa Bhava. I've been around for 15 years, 20 Guru Maharaj, please give me Ekadasha Bhav. Please give me the attributes of an eternal life. Tell me what I am in the spiritual.
That's according to your progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not how long you've been.
Yes, according to your progress. But I'm just highlighting here the brilliance, actually, the brilliance of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur as an acharya, to see the future, see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement spread throughout the world, and Prabhupada following, and Bhaktisiddhanta being so brilliant that not just blindly following Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but actually understanding the essence of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings and taking that and applying it to the modern Western or the modern preaching in the modern world, and Prabhupada as well following on from that. It's totally empowered, brilliant to see what's going to be suitable or not. And that's why it's quite a big, we won't go into it much, but there are, the Babajis, they consider Bhaktisiddhanta to be a deviant for not following this Ekadasha Siddha Pranali path, which is there in our Gaudiya lineage. Yeah. They consider him a deviant for that. That's the whole thing, All right, so what's the approved alternative? We've already mentioned that. For those who are eager for Raj Bhakti, that's their goal. We want to go to Raj Bhakti, Ki Jai. So what's the alternative? It's here. Krishna Padam Tasa Krishnam Shangopanga Ashadam Yagne Sankitam Preya Yajenti Samay Saha. This verse cannot be overemphasized enough. Yeah. Someone like to read the translation?
I'll read.
Go ahead. Thank you, Mabra.
In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions.
Okay.
All perfection of life can easily be achieved by the performance of Sankirtan.
Yeah. So this is in Srimad Bhagavatam. You can see it's the 11th canto, as we might know. So chanting and service to the holy name. Yeah. This Sankirtan will reveal all necessities to obtain ecstasy, bhava, including these ekadasa bhavas. Now, just because, but sometimes it's critic, yeah, but will it actually give the details of ekadasa bhav, the actual details of your spiritual identity by engaging in the Sankirtan movement? Yes. And then this is quoted, because later all perfection of life can be achieved by the performance of Sankirtan. Yeah. All right.
Does it also depend on your spiritual master?
Yes, yes.
Because
To-
some spiritual master would be like that way, who would help you or tell you. Some might keep it a bit like quieter.
Yeah, the spiritual master is always going to play a role in our spiritual development. So for instance, you may feel okay, so our path is chanting the holy name. That's where revelation comes from. Spreading, serving the mission of Lord Chaitanya, chanting the holy name. Now, when you're attentive, you've gone past that stage and you're attentive and you're getting deeply absorbed in the holy name. And different inspirations will come. And you're reading, and different internal inspirations will come. So then you speak to Shiksha or Diksha Guru. Oh, I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling attracted like this. Should I meditate like this? Should I meditate like that? You have someone you can go to just to, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru. So yeah, the principles very much there, and then they will guide, they will encourage. Generally, they will they will encourage, again, it's coming from the holy name. So they will encourage you to go, yes, 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 yes. Concentrate on the holy name. Yes, yeah. They will encourage us. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily going to give, for reasons as we mentioned, Ekadasha Bhavas. Even if they realize they're Ekadasha Bhavas, because it's not the path that Prabhupada gave, it's not the Abhidheya that Prabhupada gave, or Bhaktisiddhanta, they're not going to give Ekadasha. They're going to let you mine it. And they will encourage you. Yes, this realization is good. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Because sometimes you kind of chanting, you imagine, then you say, no, I shouldn't go down that road. And we concentrate on something else, like that.
Yeah, so it's good to have some devotees you can speak about it with,
Mm.
And these are the questions which our gurus really want as well, Our Guru Maharaj, I'm thinking about, this devotee disturbed my mind and this and that, and what shall I do? Shall I get married or these are questions which the Guru is really eager for disciples to have, Now, okay, so what's at the heart of the contention here is we have Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. So the contention is not the Prayojan. Everyone's clear on the Prayojan. Everyone's clear on the Sambandha. It's the Abhidheya. It's how to get it. Yeah. What's the Abhidheya by which Raj Bhakti is available today in a worldwide preaching mission? What's the Abhidheya? Okay, we're clear of the Prayojan. Yeah. And the Sambandha. But this is the contention. Yeah. Now, so what is, as we mentioned again, Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. This is our beloved Prabhupada disciples, Sri Guru Charana Padma, there, Kripamoy's wife. Who's the name of the Mataji's in front? Anyone know?
Yeah.
People not knowing the names, the Prabhupada disciples from the UK. They did a Harinam one time, or they did Harinam many times. Anyway, these details of the picture. Okay, so what may have been practiced in the past, it may not be applicable. What was practiced in the 17th century, 16th century, 18th century, 15th century, 13th century, it's not going to automatically transplant to the 21st century. Things have changed. Things have changed a lot. Yeah. So just blindly implementing the spiritual practices from the 17th century, it actually goes against Vedic injunctions, the principle of time, place, and circumstance. Yeah. What's called the time, the place, and the circumstances dramatically changed from the 14th century, 15th century, 16th century. In the process, in one sense, Krishna consciousness remains the same, and the principles of bhakti remain the same, but according to time, place, and circumstance, it may be different. It's going to be different. Yeah. Now, any questions on that? Everyone's following us so far? Yeah. So, in other words, it's a bit of a sidetrack. Just like the Muslims have a big issue. Why am I saying Muslim? Why am I bringing it out? Well, they have this literal interpretation of the Quran and everything that's horrific in it. And they're trying to apply it to the modern age, So you can see with its horrific consequences, Anyway, won't go down there too much. Yeah. So in other words, the process for realization, previously it may be in a regime of silent meditation, Satya Yuga. Yeah. It's changed, it's changed from that to one of music and dance, of dancing. sankirtan and music and chanting the holy name. But the outcomes are the same. Yeah. All right, again, this back to here. So circumstances may change. So the abhidheya, the details of the abhidheya might be a change. The sambandha stays the same and the prayojan stays the same, but the abhidheya may change. Now, who has the right to make that adjustment? Acharya,
Guru.
guru, not just any guru. Acharya. The guru is even, the guru, who's deep in knowledge. Yeah. Here's a verse, I'll just read this. It's not up in the slide. This is from Adi Lila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to deliver all the fallen souls. Therefore, he devised many methods to liberate them from the clutches of Maya. And it's still going on right now in one sense. Okay, we have to hold also how to devotees are have very different many methods to try and attract people to the Sankirtan movement, isn't it? Different devotees, different gurus have their different ways of presenting Krishna consciousness in order for people to step over the bridge, so to speak. This could be direct, and everyone, you get the idea there. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I was thinking, when you carry on doing your spiritual, like chanting, and like you could carry on just the same way chanting, trying to improve, but if you don't like look into your spiritual life and see where you're going and try and work with it or make, how can I say advancement? No, work with the thoughts, then you'll be just chanting forever and ever and not going anywhere.
Yeah, forever and ever and ever.
Makes sense? Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, that's why the sure devotees here. That's why we always hear classes. We always want to hear from devotees, and it's interesting. Every class we hear and we analyze and we think, okay, where am I in spiritual life? Even if we're not so much into deep analytic philosophy, we hear from devotees and we're introspective and we read and we chant. That's why Prabhupada gave us that spiritual program, morning and evening class. So we're always, contemplating, always thinking, always being introspective, looking for pure devotion, trying to understand what it is. That's good. That means one's progressive. That's the definition of a sadhaka. That's a sadhaka. There's plenty of people come to the temple, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, but they don't chant. They may not take up vows. They may not accept the spiritual master. But for devotees should be serious. Yeah, sadhakas. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Even the type of classes you listen, like someone could tell you, oh, these classes are really nice, but then you can't get into it. You have a different taste.
Yeah, it may do. It may be like that. It may be, but there is a stage as well, a stage of ruchi where you like every class because it's about Krishna.
Yeah.
There's something in it for you. No, but I think, some classes will be very relevant to your internal development, Other classes may not be, but still it's about Krishna. And you're sitting in the Sangha of Vaishnavas. Like today, just before 10 minutes, I was watching Wei-jun's first class, Wei-jun in our temple. Wei-jun, he's
yes, I heard his class,
Chinese, but he comes from Malaysia. And he's I'm going to listen to the rest of the class. Yeah, he's really nice. He's speaking about his experiences in Vrindavan. Experiencing how he went into the what's that temple? It's It's very crowded. One of the popular temples.
Bhakti Bihari.
Uncle Bihari describing his experience there, where he got elbowed in the, he got punched in the face. Not punched literally, but the crowd was just so crazy trying to get darshan that he got elbow in their side of their head. I'm just bringing out here, you was making that point, yeah, some classes maybe really resonate with you. But generally, every class is about Krishna. It's about Krishna consciousness. So there's going to be something, which is inspiring. But yes, definitely, some classes will really hit us in the heart, and others may not. But still, it's wonderful to hear. Yeah.
Nice to listen to newcomers anyway, because it wakens you up a lot more, more.
Yeah.
Like what he was saying, like that, it's good to listen to newcomers' classes, at times.
Yeah, yeah. All right, now, all right, so that was a bit of an introduction, okay? All right, what's the time? 6:54. To this stage of Smaran. No, that was Varana das, excuse me. So we've reviewed Shravan das, quick blast through the slides. We looked at Varana das, yeah. Now this is a little bit about Smaran das, the stage of remembrance. So again, it's here, these stages. So we're looking at a bit like this one now, looking at a bit here, this Smaran das, okay? Stage of remembrance. So let me go back here. So they're the first two steps, Shravan das and Varana das, the first two steps leading to remembrance. Okay? And again, we have to help to cultivate remembrance till it gets to a stage where it's one's reality in one's meditation. So we're going to look at 3 stages of that. That's here. Remembrance through Nam Sankirtan, some principles of Smaran, how remembrance is cultivated. Okay? Everyone's with us?
Yep.
Yeah. This is a verse from the Bhagavatam. So how much attention, again, we mentioned this in the start, to our chanting is the degree that our consciousness is pure, and then that will give one a perception into transcendental reality. It will become clear. Our Krishna consciousness will become more clear and more specific. An example is given here from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Someone would like to read this translation for us?
Yeah, I'll read.
Please. Yeah.
When a diseased eye is treated with medicinal ointment, it gradually recovers its power to see. Similarly, as a conscious living entity cleanses himself of material contamination by hearing and chanting the pious narrations of my glories, he regains his ability to see me, the absolute truth, in my subtle spiritual form.
Okay. So when we're attentive, right from the beginning of our practice of devotion, yeah. Now, real smaran in the full sense of the term will be, because we practiced smaran, we're practicing being attentive, we're practicing meditation upon the holy name, yeah. Now that's going to really assist us when we actually develop to this stage, which is known as Smaran das, because we've developed the ability to be absorbed. Yeah. So that's really going to help in the actual stage, what's given as Smaran das. One's, Now, remembrance, generally when we say remembrance, it's not the actual meaning of Smaran. It's generally used to, to remember something from the past. You know, you refer when someone, you know, we think of, do you remember him? Do you remember that? Do you remember this? You know, but in here it's different. It's something that's happening in the present. Right? So smaran, to remember, is something that's happening in the present during a devotee's nam bhajan. So it means absorption in an activity. So it's part of attentiveness. Yeah, part of attentiveness is not to be distracted by the past. It's to be absorbed in the present. That's like smaran. You follow? Smaran. Yeah. So in other words, the mind becomes the instrument with which Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes are minutely studied. Yeah. There's smarandas. Yeah. And this verse here. Someone like to read this verse? 11, 13, 14.
I'll read.
Go ahead, please.
The actual yoga system as taught by my devotees, headed by Shanak Kumar, is simply this: having withdrawn the mind from all other objects, one should directly and appropriately absorb it in me.
Okay, so this is smaran. This is smarandas. Withdrawing the mind from all other objects. Remember the different stages of meditation? Jhana, dharana, anushmriti, samadhi. So here, withdraw the mind and absorb it in Krishna. Yeah, absorb it in Krishna. This is, yeah. So Jiva Goswami, he brings out in his commentary on this verse here, he brings out this point that smaran means immersion in Krishna's holy names. Okay? That's what it means, immersion in Krishna's holy names, you know. Now then, any questions or comments here? Right. So Lord Caitanya, he came, this is what he came to make known the glories of the Mahamantra. And he gave us, then he summarized it in the Shik Ashtaka. And he empowered the Goswamis to elaborate it on more fully. Therefore, the Goswamis and Acharyas give great detail of this smaran, of this remembrance of Krishna. Yeah. Okay. Now, the idea here is that the mantra is the same. It's the same mantra we're chanting day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, generation after generation. It's the same mantra, you know. But the idea is the quality of our chanting and the depth of our chanting. Yeah. This is what we're kind of outlining of what it's going to look like when one's depth of chanting and swan is going deeper. Again, the holy name, the pathway. Well, yeah. And I think we've heard this before. So Jiva Goswami, he mentions, he brings out as Nam Sankirtan, that empowers all other forms of devotion. So especially smaran. Yeah, described here. If one performs any other type of bhakti in Kali Yuga, it should be accompanied by kirtan. Yeah, so it has special significance. Yeah, it accompanies all other limbs of bhakti. Right. Now, 701, and I think we've got quite into a lot of details here. So I think we won't take more of your time. Perhaps we'll just pause here and we'll pick up next week. We're going to speak about efforts at remembrance while chanting and how it may unfold. Okay? So,
Prabhu, you can take as much time as you need. We don't mind.
Well, I don't know. I'm just looking at a few faces, you see. I can see some devotees look a bit tired. So let's just pause here and keep you on the edge of your seat for next week. Yeah? Is that okay? I'm looking at Chandravali. Is she going to say yes or no?
I don't, yeah. I don't mind whatever anybody wants to. I have nothing else to.
Tell you what we
don't.
do. I tell you what we do. I couldn't hear Mother Gayatri. She had it. It sounded like, let's just go one more slide, okay?
Okay.
Mother Gayatri's insistence. Okay.
Haribol.
Bol.
All right.
Haribol.
Now, often there's a lot of, okay, maybe often devotees have questions about this aspect here. Now, to succeed in smaran das, meditate on Krishna's name, fame, qualities, and pastimes, there's no need to make an artificial effort. Yeah. It comes of its own, it will naturally unfold. The holy name, as we're chanting with attention, it will naturally unfold Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Okay, yes. So it's quite subtle that as you're chanting, because Krishna's name is non-different from his form, qualities, and pastimes. It is non-different. So as the heart gets purified and we're chanting with attention, you're going to perceive that. And they will become non-different. Krishna's beauty will be non-different from his name. Krishna's pastimes will be non-different. They will kind of become one, so to speak. Yeah, that will be a natural unfolding. Now, some devotees will make a conscious effort. They themselves make a conscious effort to enter these different stages of smaran, from Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Some will prefer to meditate on the sounds, just meditate on the sounds of Krishna's holy name. Yeah. Now, both these devotees, they're reassured that by this activity, they will, as described here, they will be transferred by the, very poetic described, they transferred by the vimana, by the aeroplane of Sankirtan into the airways of Smaran. Now then, any questions on that? So a question might come up. So I'll ask a question. Why should we get into the details of Smaran if it's going to happen automatically? Why is it's going to happen? We just, if simply by hearing the holy name, everything comes, so why get into all these details? Well, there are some devotees who's going to want to cultivate Smaran. Yeah, so they will themselves, they're chanting steadily, and they may, try and think of Krishna's, lotus feet, but we should know that we have to be careful there, that we're not artificially doing it. It should come naturally. Yeah. And also to benefit from chanting any mantra, one should know the truths that underlie it. One should know its practice and its perfection. So what's the practice of chanting and what's the perfection? And what we're describing here is the perfection. Yeah, this is the perfection. This is called mantrata chintana. So Vedas describe every mantra has a sadhya, it has a sadhana. So we're chanting the Maha Mantra and we're chanting on a daily basis. So we want to know the science of it. Yeah. And an indispensable form of Nam Sankirtan is praying for the mercy of the holy names. I found this picture here. As you can see, it's got a bit of a Christian picture. Someone's praying. Yeah. So chanting itself is a prayer. So it's good to keep that in mind, Yeah, one time I was in my chanting, I was something, so I keep a journal, and so I write down the rounds I chanted, things like that. And I started to rename, instead of I chanted 16 rounds or 18 rounds, whatever. I said, I prayed for 2 hours. I pray today for 3 hours, just to remind myself that it's a prayer and I'm praying. I'm not just rattling off a mantra. It's actually a prayer. So to be prayerful and reverential, be prayerful, be in that mood, you know. There's, yeah. And Prabhupada also encouraged the devotees to proceed their Sankirtan with a prayer. And he quoted Rupa Goswami. I've got some prayers that I chant before I chant my rounds. Occasionally I don't. Sometimes I'm running a bit late and sometimes I can't wait to get into my chanting. But most days I'm going to chant some prayers before I start chanting. Of course, we have Panchatattva Maha Mantra. So here's a verse from Rupa Goswami. Namashtaka, of which there's 8 verses. Here's the last one. O life of Narad's Veena, O flood of the waves of sweet nectar, O holy name of the Lord Krishna, please manifest your enchanting nectarian sweetness on my tongue. All right. So we may learn that prayer. We may read it and enter into the mood of it. Instead of just picking up our beads, you know, and just rattling, you know, going straight into our chanting. And be conscientious of entering into the mood of prayer. You know. Okay, it is. All right. Okay, so let's pause there, yeah, for today. Okay. And next week, let's finish. And the next week, we're going to finish this right in the beginning of next week's presentation. We're going to, I think you might remember this, we're going to read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Revelation when he chants and how chanting reveals everything, yeah? We're going to go through these, yeah? So, going to keep you on the cliffhanger. And next week, we'll begin with this wonderful realization from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, and then we'll go into the next section. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Hare Krishna. I look forward to, hopefully, yeah, should be okay for next week. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and if anyone has any questions on these subjects that come up, you know, you please feel free to send me a text if you want. You know, you can do that while you're any questions that come up about what we heard. I'm happy to try and answer as well out of time. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. Have where are you? You're on the beginning of your day. Okay.
Half day.
Afternoon.
Half day, yeah. All right. Have a wonderful rest of the half a day. Here it's 7:10 at night.
Yes.
Time for me to go to bed soon. How's Monica? Quickly.
Okay.
How's Monica?
Hari.
I'm
Okay.
fine.